Praise the Lord, saints. I'm not sure if anyone had seen the speech that our president gave in Pennsylvania. And I watched it for as long as I could. So I wanted to give him, of course, benefit of the doubt. Well, we give other presidents the benefit of the doubt, including our last one, Joseph Biden, Barack Obama, George W. Bush, and the list goes on and on and on. So he figured, let's give our President Trump the benefit of the doubt. But something keeps nagging me as I heard his speeches, or I heard his speech. And I keep hearing people getting, and maybe this is a shtick, and I'm thinking too much into it. If it is, well, hopefully God will forgive me. But one thing I know that God does not want his followers to just say everything that comes out of your mouth is because it seems good at the time. He wants you to check it, to be careful, because the power of the tongue can be very hurtful, can be very frightening. People don't think that the power of the tongue can be used for dangerous things, whether you intend it to be that way or not. And the idea is that essentially when you start talking about a person, and be honest, after I heard what he said about the congresswoman from Minnesota, how he said that she married her brother, and then that was how she was able to get through a loophole to come to America. And I checked on that story, and the story by several different fact-checking agencies, those that watch to make sure that everything is whoever the president is, able to make sure that whatever is being said is either true or it's not. And they found out that this person who supposedly married her brother didn't marry her brother. She did get married before she came over from Somalia to the United States. But understand this. People are apt to follow the one whose rhetoric is so inflammatory, mainly because they're ready to do inflammatory acts. So I would not be surprised that someone has already given death threats to this particular congresswoman. Now, the congresswoman is also Muslim, which adds another portion of attack, because she should be Christian. Now, my view on Islam and on, let's say, their jihad, and not everyone in Islam believes in jihad, especially conquering other nations, forcing them at the point of a sword or a gun to acknowledge Allah. But I've always felt that my God must be much more settled about who he is than Allah, because Allah requires people to go and force others to convert. Again, this is not everybody in Islam believes this, but many of them do. But I find that essentially for me, if you have to force somebody at the edge of a gun or the edge of a knife or whatever weapon you happen to have in your hand or have available, that you have to resort to violence and killing to promote your God, then I'd say that your God is not necessarily as strong Now, that may not fit well with many people who believe in Allah. Now, I'm not trying to disrespect, but at the same time, the actions of the people reflect how people also perceive their God. So, again, I believe that most Muslims do not wish to kill people for their belief, to force Islam into places where essentially, for instance, I believe Boko Haram over in Nigeria, they kill people, they kidnap people to make sure that they propagate the Quran. But I always felt, and I still hold that feeling, that if you have to do it at gunpoint, then what you're offering is not nearly as good as what I would present to you and leave it to you to make a choice, either for or against. And you don't have to be threatened at gunpoint. But I'm kind of diverging from my main thing. But you deal with our president who is saying things that not only are wrong, but they're inflammatory. Then the crowd shouts, "Send her home, send her home, send her home, send her home," like they're in a chant. And to be honest, it almost as if he has taken up the mantle of prophet for his own movement. And people are just chanting after him. Doesn't matter what he does. Doesn't matter if he gets everything wrong. People will believe it because he said it. They will act upon it. So I wouldn't be surprised if someone starts doing a campaign against Somalis who supposedly are bankrupting Minnesota and who are getting on the dole. They're causing a lot they're because of their needs, and they're going on public assistance. And I'm not sure whether they are or not. I haven't read the data. But there are so many people on financial support that, to me, you have to really get everybody. And that includes a lot of people who are part of the majority. The key here, saints, is we're listening to someone who's, again, and I don't want to keep harping on it, because one of my friends suggested that I had TDS, or Trump derangement syndrome. And people are saying it quite a bit now about people who criticize. But I would be saying the same thing if it was Barack Obama right there. Like, what in the world are you doing? Why are you doing this? Because you don't need to do this. You have people that really do believe in you. You don't have to spread rumors about them, lies about them. One of these days, it's going to hit somebody, and it's going to hurt very badly. But I'm afraid that at that point, it will be too hard to stop the process. And of course, I listened some more about the term affordability. And I'll be honest, I'm not sure who brought that up. But essentially, the same subject was brought up when, at the end of the campaign of 2024, about things were going up, prices were going up, they hadn't come down enough, or the rate of increase hasn't come down enough to satisfy anybody. And many people voted with their pocketbooks, which I understand. I really do understand. You get someone who you feel is going to help lessen the burden financially. But in these last few months, this year, the burden hasn't been lifted. And so the word affordability is being bandied about. What is your level of affordability? Can you afford this? Can you afford this? Can you afford that? Or do you have to cut back now because the prices are going up and up and up and up and up? And they are still going up. Someone talked about gas and how gas is going down. That's great. But out here in California, the price of gas is pretty much at the lowest point of the Biden administration. Not higher. I mean, not lower than that. So congratulations, you got it to where it's where the lowest times of Biden's administration was able to offer. So there is a question with affordability. I remember a friend of mine showed this whole thing of eggs at, I guess, a Costco or something that was at a very low cost. But that's some eggs. And there's some things. I've seen different prices on other items that are rising up a lot. So I can't afford to get those things anymore because they just cost too much. And being now on a fixed income, I have to watch what I can do. I'm on a fixed income. My wife is on a fixed income. We try to balance whatever we have. We don't know what else is coming. We don't know. Saints of God, we have a job to do. We have a job to proclaim. Can we do it? I don't know. But our proclamation must be filled with truth. It must be true in order for people to really get with us. I'm not saying we're going to start campaigning against President Trump. No. That's on the political sphere. What we have to do, saints of God, is buckle ourselves and get ready for a ride spiritually. Because spiritual wickedness is in high places. Has been in high places. Will be in high places. Whether it's Democrat or Republican. Spiritual wickedness is there. Lies are there. Broken promises are there. Hatred of certain people are there. Much as we may not want this to happen, it is there. So taking the speech of our president, and again, that wasn't all of his speech. Some of his speech was essentially thanking those who were that were helping him. That's not a problem. But we as a people must be able to think for ourselves. And as we think for ourselves, we're also letting the Lord guide our minds so we can know what is the basic thing that we need. And then we can fill that need, whether it's spiritually, whether it's materially, whether it's about giving a kind word or a kind answer. But we have to reflect the Spirit of Christ and not the conceitedness of the world. Saints of God, pray for our country. Maybe you have another reason why you're praying, but pray that the Lord will show forth and most of all, save souls even in this time. In this time. And it's time not to get mad at the president if you don't like what he's saying. It's not the time. That should have been time a long time ago. No time to put him as the first in command of your life and you follow him wherever he goes. No. It's high time, for the night is ending and the day is at hand. We must be about our Father's business. Love you all. God bless you and take care.